Part 52. Peach Youth. Author, Su Kifeng. Chapter 512. If he knew today that he Wentao used to go to Pattaya in Thailand, he would not have brought back the two masters, the brown bear and Hua Dai, but now, the brown bear made Lin Feng beat him to death, and Hua Dai became Wang Shan's person. He was very willing to work hard to fix it. In pain, he Wentao was sitting on the sofa in his private house drinking, and his mind was filled with the figure of his ex-wife, Sister Wang. Or Miss Wang. Sister Wang is prettier than Wang Shan, gentler than Wang Shan, and she was also very gentle to him before. It was a cold night, and he Wentao thought of Sister Wang again, so he called her. Seeing that the caller was he Wentao, Sister Wang was immediately disgusted. Since Miss Ye already knew what happened to he Wentao and laughed, Sister Wang naturally knew it. Very mean. Very sad. Sister Wang used these 6 words to describe he Wentao. Although she used to be he Wentao's wife and had been married for a period of time, it was sweet and painful, but she didn't sympathize with he Wentao at all at this time, because when he Wentao abandoned her for profit, he was as ruthless as a cold wind sweeping leaves. At that time, Sister Wang even thought of suicide. Thanks to the guidance of Miss Ye, she had the courage to live. After living alone for a long time, Sister Wang found that the state was very good, although she often felt empty. Lin Feng had just chatted with De Qingzong for about 10 minutes. At this time, he was already typing words. His cell phone rang. The ringtone he just changed was a very dynamic dance song. Although it sounded like a copycat, it was really cool. Lin Feng picked it up and said with a smile, "Sister Wang, you a gao, do you miss me? The moon is dark and the wind is high at night. When you kill people and set fires, do you want to kill me? I'm so good to you, you eat a lot of my 1,000 pieces of braised pork. You have the heart to hurt me. Sister Wang, why did you even mention the injury? Isn't it too serious? It's probably because you thought of he Wentao's bastard, so you're depressed. But it's nothing, although I'm very busy right now, but if you need me to comfort you, I will blow by your side like the wind." Ha ha ha. Sister Wang laughed happily. She was a little depressed at first, but when she heard what Lin Feng said just now, she was much happier. Sometimes, happiness is so simple, and the happiness that Sister Wang feels at this time is very simple. Since you're busy, keep busy. I'll feel guilty for interrupting your code. I am not busy. What's the matter with you, kid? I just said that I was very busy, but suddenly I'm not busy, Sister Wang said. It's over, I just put it on in front of you, I hope it didn't make you sick, Lin Fengzin said, thinking of your soft flesh. Of course I'm not busy. It's not disgusting, it makes me very happy. Since you're not busy, come to me and have a few drinks with me. I'll treat you with top French red wine, Sister Wang said. Lin Feng was very happy to accompany him and set off. The destination was Yezi's private villa, and the purpose was to eat Wang Ji's tofu. I don't know what to do on this intoxicated night. How much tofu can he eat? If Sister Wang takes off her and takes a bath with him, he will be crazy. Lin Feng has arrived. Seeing Lin Feng, Sister Wang's body and mind were warmed up. Yaya and Hongying are not there, so tonight is the world of Lin Feng and Sister Wang. Lin Feng sat on the sofa, and Sister Wang brought red wine and brought 2 side dishes to the coffee table. Let's drink here, the 2 of us. Watch TV and drink. No problem. Lin Feng looked at Sister Wang with a bit of fiery eyes, because Sister Wang's charming charm once again stimulated him. After clinking glasses, Lin Feng and Sister Wang both took a sip of red wine, and the smile on the corner of Sister Wang's mouth became charming. At the same time, Lin Feng's body became more upright. Don't look at me that way, kid, or I'll be scared, Sister Wang said gently. I'm so sorry, beautiful sister, I scared you. Lin Feng's eyes looking at Sister Wang became more fiery. Sister Wang's delicate face was a little sullen. Maybe Lin Feng's eyes at this time really made her very angry. A magical thing happened. After clinking glasses again, when Lin Feng took another sip of red wine, his eyes were not so hot. That kind of change was like a divine turning point, and Sister Wang was a little surprised and a little disappointed. In fact, Lin Feng looked at her with fiery eyes just now, which gave her a sense of accomplishment, and at the same time made her body very moist, but her high-end trousers were unlikely to be washed away. After drinking the red wine for almost an hour, Sister Wang took away the rest of the red wine, took away the unfinished side dishes, and appeared in front of Lin Feng again. Sister Wang came over with the chessboard. In this intoxicated night, Lin Feng didn't want to play chess with Sister Wang, but just wanted to do something ambiguous with her. He came to comfort Sister Wang, and he also came to be ambiguous. His thoughts were not hypocritical. He really wanted to sleep with Sister Wang's soft body in his arms this night. You kid is a little lost, hurry up and stop thinking about it. Let's play chess. I still mean it before. If your kid can win me 3 games in a row, whatever you want, I have no objection. Is it okay to take off your pants? Ro. Sister Wang said the word very simply. Start playing chess. Lin Feng's chess skills have been improving all the time, but he doesn't have a world-shattering talent in chess, and is far less powerful than his talent in Kung Fu. Therefore, it will take a long time for his chess skills to reach the realm of Sister Wang. Maybe he can't play chess in his life to be the opponent of Sister Wang. It's like a person who has practiced Kung Fu for decades, but he has never been able to beat another person. A person who learns from morning to night may not be as good as a person who often skips classes. People, it's not okay to be unconvinced. After 3 consecutive games, Lin Feng lost. Once again, he felt that it was very unlikely to win 3 games in a row with Sister Wang. That is to say, it was not easy for Sister Wang to be willing to take off her pants for him. Seeing Lin Feng's face a little depressed, Sister Wang said with a charming smile, "You are depressed now, can you be patient?" Lin Feng said, "I have always been a very patient person. No matter who I am facing or doing, I am very patient, but there are times when people with patience are depressed." Lin Feng actually didn't want to continue playing chess, but Sister Wang set it up again. Seeing Lin Feng smoking angrily, Sister Wang said, "I don't want to play anymore? Then you're a bit too boring. I'm in a bad mood. Only when I play chess with you can I be a little more happy, since you are here to comfort me, then let me be happy." Lin Feng blew out a breath of smoke. "It's fine for me to continue playing chess with you, but you have to dance for me first, the kind of dance that makes me feel good." "What kind of dance makes you happy?" "It's the kind of dance that makes men stand up easily." "Even if I don't dance, you have already stood up," Sister Wang said. Lin Feng was obviously more depressed than before, and immediately took Sister Wang's soft body into his arms and stroked her towering chest through the clothes, savoring the softness and heat. Sister Wang's breathing was obviously rapid and her face was pink. If she was not impulsive, it would be a lie, but she was always able to control her impulsiveness in moderation. She needed a man, but she didn't want to let herself fall. She felt that it was too much to let Lin Feng touch her body. "Okay, enough, you boy, if you don't want to play chess with me, then you can go." Sister Wang's tears were about to flow out, and Lin Feng could only let go of her and continue to play chess with her. Lin Feng lost 3 more games, and then Sister Wang proposed not to play. She actually wanted Lin Feng to watch that kind of movie with her, but there was a premise that even if you watched that kind of movie together, you couldn't do that. Lin Feng was worried that he would be stimulated to be tender on the outside, so he hurriedly fled and left Yes private villa. Sister Wang laughed. At this time, her laughter was crazy, but in the laughter, her tears were flowing freely, because life had tortured her. Yankee Mark was stimulated badly after talking about business with Ye. He really wanted to have an affair with Ye, but Ye didn't seem to want to get close to her, especially that Lin Feng, who cleaned him up and made him very pain. The business had been negotiated and the contract was signed, but Mark did not leave Beijing immediately. Besides enjoying the scenery of Beijing, more importantly, he still hoped that something could happen between him and Ye, and at the same time let Lin Feng that the boy pays the price. Mark's friend, the black American Jackson, has arrived in Beijing from the western part of the United States. Jackson has received a lot of benefits from Mark before, so he also hopes to help Mark deal with the inconspicuous Waxia this time. Men get a lot of benefits. Hotel room. Mark and Jackson were drinking red wine, smoking cigars, and talking about dealing with Lin Feng. Naturally, Jackson had never seen Lin Feng, but after hearing what Mark described it, Jackson began to despise Lin Feng. He thought that just such a person would definitely not be his opponent. He has a height of 190, a burly and sturdy body, and his muscles used to frighten many men and make many women scream. He planned to break 2 of Lin Feng's teeth, and then 1 of Lin Feng's arms, thus further winning Mark's appreciation. He can get more benefits. Mark said, "Tomorrow you can go to trouble with Lin Feng, you'd better challenge him openly, so that even if you beat him, Ye will not despise us. If you beat Lin Feng under the premise of challenge, Ye it might be trouble for us. Ye is a very powerful woman, I really want to get her, I don't want to completely anger her. My friend, now your company and Ye's company have a lot of cooperation, and the interests between each other are very clear. I don't think Ye will turn against you because of Lin Feng," Jackson said. "I think so, but everything has an accident. In order not to irritate Ye, you should do what I want," Mark said. "If you satisfy me, I will give you something." Jackson immediately saw the shadow of the banknotes. The banknotes were flying in front of him, and the beautiful women were dancing in front of him. To be continued. Peach Youth. Author, Suki Feng. Chapter 513. The business of Fengnan fashion store is a bit deserted, which makes Dinan very depressed. She has complained several times in a row, and it is not a holiday. Why is the business so bad? Seeing Dinan like this, Lin Feng would feel distressed. He grabbed Dinan's hand, savoring the delicate softness, and said with a smile, "Isn't business always good some time ago? Even if it's a bit cold today, it's normal. Everything is random. But I don't want this randomness to happen to our shop at all. I want the shop to be doing well every day so that I can make more money. If you are short of money, I can give it to you," Lin Feng said. Dinan's beautiful face turned red, and said angrily, "What a joke, why should I ask for your money? Although the two of us have a good relationship, we are just friends, not boyfriend and girlfriend. It's not your wife, you can eat the meal you invited, but you can't ask for your money." Although the relationship between the two is already very good, Dinan is still so principled. Lin Feng hopes that Dinan can throw away this principle in front of him, but Dinan has kept this almost stubborn principle. When it was time for lunch, Lin Feng ordered a meal to eat with Dinan in the store. Someone came in. He was a very burly foreigner. Lin Feng and Dinan immediately understood that this person was not here to shop, but to look for it. Troublesome. Although the big man hadn't spoken yet, Lin Feng had already guessed that he was the one that Mark found. Jackson speaks Chinese, but it sounds weird, like the sound of a person's tongue being clicked. Jackson said, "Are you Lin Feng?" "I'm." "Listen to my friend Mark, you are a kung fu master, and your Chinese kung fu is amazing. It's not magical, but it's enough for self-defense, especially when dealing with those evil people with ulterior motives. It's very useful," Lin Feng said. Jackson's face became more gloomy, and he said coldly, "You are a very interesting person, but I want to challenge you. I want to try your Chinese kung fu. If you don't accept my challenge, I will tell you. Friends by your side, you are not a man. This kind of aggressiveness is unnecessary, because the moment he saw Mark, Lin Feng had already decided to accept his challenge. Lin Feng smiled and said, I accept it. You choose the time and place. Jackson seemed very graceful. Lin Feng chose the time at 9 o'clock tonight, and the location was Jinwu Center. The stake is 1 million. Jackson left. Dinan's heart panicked. Fan Fist beat Lin Feng's arm, and said angrily, Lin Feng, your kid is playing more and more crazy, and you will bet hundreds of thousands of millions with people at every turn. Do you think you are who is it? Is it easy for you to make money by typing? Even if your manuscript fee increases to 200,000 words, 1 million is enough for you to code for a long time. Lin Feng grabbed Dinan's hand and pulled her into his arms, savoring the outline of her towering chest, and said with a smile, according to my current royalties standard, it does take a long time to earn 1 million, but I am a master of Kung Fu, my Kung Fu is high. It is not me who challenges others, it is others who challenge me, which also involves leaves, so I have no way out and must accept it. It seems reasonable. And Lin Feng just mentioned leaves? Dinan's heart was very uncomfortable, and he frowned slightly and said, you are so concerned about what Yezi thinks of you, do you fall in love with Yezi? No. But your feelings about leaves are very unusual, Dinan said. I'm a very special friend to Ye, just like I am to you. What do you mean? Is the leaf your most beautiful face? Dinan said. My most beautiful beauty is only you, Ye is just my special friend, not the most beautiful beauty. Hearing what Lin Feng said, Dinan felt a great sense of accomplishment. She was so angry just now that she showed a bright smile. The moment her body twisted, her towering chest rubbed against Lin Feng's body. Make him feel good. It's normal to be a hooligan in this situation, so Lin Feng did 2 actions to Dinan. Although it was only against Ding Danan's body through the clothes, it still irritated her. What are you doing, boy? Bang bang bang. Dinan's fist hit Lin Feng like a drum. I didn't do anything, I just pushed you twice. You don't need to push me. You just need to push the green bamboo. Push her so hard that she screams. Dinan rolled her eyes at Lin Feng, pushed him away, and walked out of the store, standing on the street looking at the scenery. There were many people walking on the street, but there were indeed very few people who came to the store to buy things today. Lin Feng returned to the rented master bedroom, sat on the chair, turned on the computer, and then called Yezi. Ye was busy with business at Hung Tu Company, and when she saw that it was Lin Feng, the corner of her mouth showed a pleasant smile. She is not Lin Feng's girlfriend, but Lin Feng's call made her very happy. That kind of sentiment should be considered very special. What's the matter with you, boy? Miss you. It's not serious, you don't have to think about what I should do. If it's nothing, I'll hang up and be busy, Yezi said. Mark started making waves again, and found an American expert to challenge me. What? That Mark asked an American expert to challenge you? Did you accept the challenge? Ye said in shock. If I don't accept the challenge, I will lose not only my own face, but also your face, so I can only accept it. I will play at Jinwu Center at 9 o'clock tonight, and the bet is 1 million. If you lose, I'll pay for the million. Can't you say something good? You should think so. I will not lose, I will definitely beat that big guy named Jackson and win 1 million, Lin Feng said. Yes, you are a rare top-level expert, you will not lose, Yezi said. Wait for me, I will find you in 2 hours. Okay. Ye was coming to him, which naturally made him very happy. Lin Feng began to code, and when he had less than 3,000 words, the woman whose online name was De Qingzong sent a message, come to Hangzhou for the new year in a while, you can live with me and celebrate the new year together. Warm. De Qingzong, a woman with a and a little bit of wind, has actually linked the new year with enthusiasm, which can be said to be very talented. New Year's Eve is used to watch the Spring Festival Gala and stay up all night. People who do that kind of thing on New Year's Eve can't say no, but I'm afraid there are not as many weekends. Lin Feng, you are sick. I want to go home to celebrate the New Year with my parents. I am not interested in celebrating the New Year with you. He also said in his heart, I am afraid you are not in Hangzhou. If I go to Hangzhou, I probably won't be able to find you. De Qingzhou began to scold Lin Feng, and Lin Feng was too lazy to pay attention to her and was not angry with her. Lin Feng continued to code. 2 hours passed quickly, and when Lin Feng's code word reached 8,000, the leaves arrived. Ye Zi came alone, and appeared in front of Lin Feng wearing a professional attire. Lin Feng was a little lost. Leaf saw his absence. Jokingly said, "What's wrong with you, boy? You can't pull out your eyes when you see me." "That's because you are too noble and beautiful. Appreciating your beauty can prolong your life," Lin Feng said. Ha ha ha. Ye Zi laughed happily. If I can have the function of prolonging men's life, it will be very powerful. Whoever marries me in the future will be able to live to 500 years old. Lin Feng continued to code. Ye Zi sat beside him and watched him code. The beautiful lady said leisurely, "I used to despise you for a long time, but I admire you now. I know you despised me, and I know you admire me now. If you always despised me, I would not be friends with you. After all, no one wants to be friends with people who despise him," Lin Feng said. "We'll always be good friends. If you run into any trouble in the future, I'll do my best to help you. I hope that I won't encounter any trouble in the future. Even if my life is a little dull, it's fine. I think my university is muddled, but it was relatively simple at that time," Lin Feng said. "It's good to be complicated. If life was always that simple, there would be no passion," Ye Zi said. While chatting with leaves. Lin Feng's coding speed is not so fast, but his mood is very comfortable. When it comes to the fight with Jackson, it is impossible for Ye not to worry. Mark is a very energetic person. Maybe the Jackson he recruited is a top master from the black market boxing arena. If he is a very perverted master, he can kick out 2,000 pounds in one night. Lin Feng is afraid to deal with it. Not anymore. Stimulated by Miss Ye's intoxicating aroma, Lin Feng kept typing until 10,000 before he stopped. "Go ahead, I'm watching, and you stop," Ye Zi said. If he is doing that kind of thing, when a woman is about to achieve pleasure, a man suddenly stops, and he will definitely be seriously despised by the woman, but Lin Feng felt that he should not be despised when he suddenly stopped typing. Lin Feng glanced at Ye Zi's chest, his hand stretched out. Ye Zi shouted, "Don't touch it." He covered his chest with both hands. "Very cute and cute." Lin Feng hugged Ye, pushed her hands away, and stroked her chest through the clothes. He intends to take a look at Ye's reaction first, and if Ye is not very disapproving, he can start the next step. Ye wasn't disgusted by his touch, just complained a few words before it softened into his arms. Lin Feng stretched his hand in, turned Ye Zi's chest photo to the side, fondled her pair of tall and soft breasts, and quickly lifted Ye Zi's upper clothes to kiss her chest. Ye was very intoxicated. Ye's breathing was very rapid, and it could be seen that Lin Feng's touch made her very comfortable. But when Lin Feng's hand went downstream, Ye became nervous and was very afraid that Lin Feng would put his hand into her trousers. The slender legs were tightened, and Ye's body twisted, and the eyes turned from blurred to sharp. Seeing this situation, Lin Feng stopped when his hand touched the edge of Ye Zi's trousers. Although he didn't reach in, he could clearly feel a wet patch. Ye Zi's body was so graceful. The body of the leaves is so moist. It would be a pleasure to get the body of the leaf someday. But what does it mean if he gave the leaves to that? You continue to code, I'll go first. Since you're here, stay with me for a while. I'm afraid you're going to be a hooligan. Don't be a hooligan, Lin Feng said. But you were just playing a hooligan. Just now, the next is the next, Lin Feng said. Ye didn't leave immediately, he continued to read Lin Feng's code, and left after more than an hour. To be continued. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Peach Youth. Author, Su Kifeng. Chapter 514. Night. Lin Feng, Dainan, and Tian Qingzhu went to the Jinwu Center together, and Ye and Hongying also came. This kind of situation is very interesting. Dainan is Lin Feng's most beautiful beauty, Tian Qingzhu is Lin Feng's girlfriend, Hongying is Lin Feng's lover, and Ye is Lin Feng's special friend. A very chic atmosphere. As Lin Feng's girlfriend, Tian Qingzhu doesn't know how close the relationship between Lin Feng and Hongying is. Although Lin Feng is very honest with Tian Qingzhu, he will not talk nonsense about things that should not be explained. As a man, in the face of you should do this when you are your own woman, otherwise you will easily get into trouble. Dainan knew very well that Hongying was Lin Feng's lover. She had already started to mutter in her heart. Lin Feng, you kid, if Qingzhu sees your relationship with Hongying, be careful that she repairs you. I have never seen Qingzhu repair you before. But since other women can repair people, so will she, the pure and kind-hearted. She must have her own way of repairing people. Li Xingguo, Zhao Fei, and Chang Yaxing all came over. Dainan and Zhao Fei, a pair of special friends who had played love games before, had a lively chat. Therefore, neither Lin Feng nor Li Xingguo will have any other thoughts because of this. Tian Qingzhu and Chang Yaxing both looked at each other and laughed for a moment. At that moment, Tian Qingzhu thought, I know you love Lin Feng too. Chang Yaxing thought, Qingzhu, you are Lin Feng's girlfriend, you really happiness. In terms of appearance, I am no worse than you, but you are the beauty of a key university, and I am just a person with a low educational level who has never attended a university. Chang Yaxing never thought her abilities in other areas were low. But she knows that her literacy level is low, and she has been working hard to make up for this shortcoming by improving her emotional intelligence. Li Xingguo asked about the Yankee named Jackson. Lin Feng said that he didn't know much about Jackson, only that he was found by Mark and looked like a very tough guy. Since Mark asked Jackson to deal with him, his strength would definitely not be bad, and he might even be a perverted master. It's 9 o'clock in less than 15 minutes, and Jackson hasn't arrived yet, which is very mysterious. Lin Feng knew Mark would come with Jackson. Maybe Mark wanted to wait for news from Jackson in the hotel room, but he couldn't control his urge to watch the fight, so he would come. It's like a man promises a woman. If you stay overnight, I'm sure I won't do anything to you too much. I'll put my arms around you quietly, but when the woman does stay for the night, he'll take off the woman's panties. Do that very hard. Maybe the woman will be pissed, but when the pleasure hits, it's usually a cry, but when the pleasure is over and it's light, the man may be ignored. Hongying looked at Yezi's face and said with a smile, if that from Mark came, would you slap him twice on the spot? Yezi smiled and said, Mark is a jerk, but slapping him won't do us any good, so I won't do that. Of course, if Mark goes too far, it's still necessary to fix him. Jackson finally arrived, and Mark came with him unexpectedly. A casual suit made Mark look very gentlemanly, and his smile was easy to confuse people, just like he was a well-mannered person with any bad qualities. Nothing to do with him. Jackson was indeed a big man with great visual impact. Even Li Xingguo's brows were wrinkled. Just by looking at it, he knew that Jackson was very powerful. If he just flipped his wrists, Lin Feng might not be Jackson's opponent. Lin Feng's dragon and snake legs are very likely to create a miracle to defeat Jackson. Facing Ye, Mark spread his hands in a dashing manner and said with a smile, beautiful Ye, it's definitely not you, but him, that I'm arguing against for this kind of behavior. Mark glanced at Lin Feng next to him, and then looked at Yezi's beautiful face again. He said in his heart, Yezi, you are so beautiful. If something could happen to you, it would definitely be a pleasure. I hope so much. Something happened. Yezi didn't say anything, just smiled at Mark, although her smile was very gentle, but Mark could also see that Yezi had a problem with him. Lin Feng and Jackson boarded the ring, and there were many people watching. Except for Mark, everyone else hoped that Lin Feng would win. Jackson charged towards Lin Feng fiercely. Although he took a big step, his chassis was very stable. The angle and speed of this punch were unbeatable, which showed that he was indeed a master. It was absolutely impossible for Lin Feng to be dropped by Jackson with one punch. The moment he dodged, he lifted his leg and kicked Jackson's chest. Jackson couldn't dodge in time, so he could only stretch out his arm to block Lin Feng's leg. He really felt the power of Lin Feng's leg. After taking a few steps back, his face changed slightly. Obviously, Lin Feng is much more powerful than he imagined, and he already regards Lin Feng as a formidable enemy. Fist fight. Legs clash. The fight between Lin Feng and Jackson was very exciting. Within 3 minutes, Lin Feng pressed Jackson to fight. Lin Feng's dragon and snake legs are amazing. Jackson couldn't stand it anymore. He had already eaten 2 legs in a row. When Lin Feng kicked Jackson's body with his third leg, the sturdy big man screamed and fell on the ring. The injury was not light, but he still stood up and leaned towards Lin Feng with a staggering step. A cold smile appeared at the corner of Lin Feng's mouth, and Jackson's fist hit him in the face again, and he avoided it. When Lin Feng's fist hit Jackson's face, Jackson, who was seriously injured, couldn't avoid it. After taking the punch, he fell to the ground with a bang, blood flowed out of his mouth, and 2 front teeth were lost. He originally wanted to knock out Lin Feng's teeth and break Lin Feng's arm, but his front teeth were knocked out by Lin Feng. Sweat dripped from Mark's forehead. Losing $1 million was a trivial matter. He had money, but it was too shameful. This kid Lin Feng's kung fu is really powerful, even Jackson is not his opponent. Mark was perplexed, noticing that his face turned earthy gray when the leaves were looking at him. Lin Feng walked down the arena in a dashing manner, and many people applauded. In this warm applause, Mark even wanted to find a crack in the ground to get in. Lin Feng is very beautiful. Lin Feng won $1 million because of this. Because Dainan and Tian Qingzu were by Lin Feng's side, Ye and Hongying didn't say much to Lin Feng, and Hongying didn't even do anything ambiguous with Lin Feng, and the 2 of them left soon. Lin Feng chatted with Li Xingguo and Chang Yaxing for more than half an hour, and then left with Dainan and Tian Qingzu. The $1 million has already been credited to his account. In addition to the mansion worth tens of millions, Lin Feng's bank card is almost 10 million. He is much richer than before, but he is not really the local tyrants, because only the billionaire-level people can be regarded as the real local tyrants. If there are tens of billions or millions of billions, they are super-local tyrants. Lin Feng, Dainan, and Tian Qingzu returned to the rental house together. Tian Qingzu was with Lin Feng, but Dainan avoided it, and when she returned to her partition room, she clicked on a movie and watched it. Lin Feng hugged Tian Qingzu and sat on the sofa, kissing her red lips and stroking her chest. Tian Qingzu's body became softer and softer in the breath. Tian Qingzu originally thought that Lin Feng would code words first, and then make out with her, but Lin Feng did not code words first, but took off her pants during the kiss, pulled off her panties, and broke into hers. The body moved vigorously. Tian Qingzu's body trembled, she was very comfortable, she was very, and her cry was very sweet. After the enthusiasm, it was almost midnight. Neither Lin Feng nor Tian Qingzu were very sleepy. Lin Feng turned on the computer and logged into the chat account, and immediately saw a message from De Qingzone, just 3 words, "Dear. I rely on." Isn't this something for him? Tian Qingzu was sitting beside him and saw everything. Lin Feng looked at Tian Qingzu and found that her face was a little red, but the smile on the corner of her mouth was natural and did not meet his anger. "Who is the big green worm?" A netizen, who is also my reader, said she was from Hangzhou. Lin Feng smiled and said, "There is nothing between me and her. Maybe she often refers to others as dear. It's okay, she's just one of your netizens. You haven't met before, so I'm not jealous. That's fine. Aren't you going to reply to her?" "Not going back. You might as well call her dear." Tian Qingzu laughed. Lin Feng stroked her chest and said, "You are my dear." De Qingzone quickly sent another message, "Why are you ignoring me, my dear? I'm so sad." Lin Fengzin said, "Really, your sister? Why are you messing about with your hair?" Lin Feng still ignored De Qingzone, and sure enough, De Qingzone did not continue to send him messages. He and Tian Qingzu watched the web page for almost an hour together and then lay down on the bed hugging each other, and they arranged the scoring twice until the early morning. In the early morning, when Tian Qingzu was half asleep, Lin Feng broke into her body with a very strange posture. It may be that this posture brought too much stimulation to Tian Qingzu. She screamed so loudly that she was completely awake from half dreaming and half awake. After complaining a few words, she began to cooperate with Lin Feng's offensive. After a long time, the beauty bamboo was fully satisfied again, and smiled charmingly, "It's time to get up." When Beauty Bamboo was wearing clothes, Lin Feng was still lying naked on the bed. Although he had just had a heated relationship with Beauty Bamboo, his gun was still very straight. "What time are you going to get up? Are you not eating breakfast? Get up after you smoke this cigarette." Lin Feng lit a cigarette and started smoking. He found that his life was getting more and more free, which was a pleasure. To be continued. Update fast, no pop-ups, plain text. Peach Youth. Author, Sci-fi. Chapter 515. When he woke up in the morning, Tian Qingzu did not continue to ask Lin Feng about the big caterpillar, as if nothing had happened. Such an understanding girlfriend is really rare. Tian Qingzu went out with Dainan, but Lin Feng did not go out with him. He continued to browse the web and planned to write 6,000 words this morning. When Lin Feng wrote a 3,000-word chapter, Wang Shan called and asked him to go to dinner at noon. Lin Feng agreed. Since the play had already started some time ago, it would continue. Lin Feng wrote the second 3,000-word chapter and set off. When he arrived at Wang Shan's villa, he saw Hua Dai was also there. Lin Feng couldn't help but wonder if Hua Dai had already served Wang Shan with all his heart. Dai betrays He Wentao, and may betray Wang Shan. Huidi is a master and looks very temperamental, but Lin Feng feels that Huidi is a person with poor principles. This kind of person is capricious and can easily do surprising things. Hua Dai's beauty is sexy, and the look in her eyes when she looks at Lin Feng is also sexy, as if Lin Feng stimulated her. Lin Fengzin said, "Don't look at me like that, don't tell me you've already fascinated me. If you really want something to happen with me, maybe I'll be happy." The nanny was already preparing meals, and Lin Feng sat on the sofa. Sitting beside him were sisters Wang Shan and Wang Li. Wang Shan was very calm, as if Lin Feng's arrival did not bring any disturbance to her, but she was pondering unknown things in her heart. Wang Li wanted to become a kung fu master so much, he was naturally excited to see Lin Feng. He hadn't had lunch yet, but he already wanted Lin Feng to start teaching him kung fu right away. "Master, do you think I'm very talented in kung fu?" Wang Li said. "It's okay," Lin Feng wanted to say, "you are a fool." Wang Shan seemed to see something, and touched Lin Feng with her fragrant shoulder. "You have a problem with my brother. He is not only your younger brother, but also my apprentice. What can I say to him?" Lin Feng said. "That's good." Wang Shan touched Lin Feng with her fragrant shoulder again. She, the chairman of the board, seemed to be a little ambiguous with Lin Feng. When eating together, Wang Shan and Wang Li were very enthusiastic towards Lin Feng, and Hua Dai also had a few words with Lin Feng. After eating, Lin Feng and Wang Li reached the third floor. Lin Feng began to teach Wang Li Kung Fu according to the routine he had designed. This routine was destined to fail Wang Li to become a master. Wang Shan and Hua Dai watched from the side, and neither of them saw any problem. What puzzled Lin Feng was why Wang Shan didn't go to Wang Group. Isn't she busy? He Wen Tao, the executive vice president, has already been swept out of the house. Who has replaced He Wen Tao now? More than 2 hours passed. The group left the third floor. Wang Li invited a friend and went out to play. Lin Feng and Wang Shan went to the study together. Wang Shan sat on the chair and smiled charmingly. I'm a little tired, can you squeeze my shoulders? It seems that it is very ambiguous to serve her when you squeeze your shoulders. Lin Feng had no objection, and began to squeeze Wang Shan's shoulders. He found that Wang Shan's skin was very soft, and this charming woman took good care of her. Gradually, Lin Feng's hand walked down from Wang Shan's shoulder, and soon touched Wang Shan's chest, stroking her tall through the clothes. From Wang Shan's mouth, there was a bit of anger, and her breathing became quicker. It could be seen that Lin Feng's touch had brought her strong stimulation. You little bastard, are you a little too much? You touched my chest, who gave you such courage? I didn't put my hand into your chest photo, I just touched it through the clothes. It's nothing. It's nothing, you can't touch me casually even with clothes on, do you think I'm a casual woman? Wang Shan said angrily. How do I know if you are a casual woman? Actually, I don't know you very well, Lin Fengzin said, but I know you are a ruthless woman, and I know you really want to get rid of Ye. I can tell you right now that I'm not a casual woman, so please be careful when you're with me in the future. I have a bad habit. Whenever I'm with a beautiful woman like you, I like to touch a few times. If you don't like me, then I won't come again, Lin Feng said. Wang Shan's face changed slightly, and her attitude quickly reversed. I didn't say that you won't be allowed to come in the future. Although your kid is a little evil, you are still very welcome in this villa. The question is not whether this villa welcomes me, but whether you welcome me, Lin Feng said. This villa is mine, this villa welcomes you, and I welcome you, Wang Shan said. Lin Feng stopped for a while, did not continue to touch Wang Shan's body, sat beside her, lit a cigarette, and said with a smile, you are the helm of the Wang Group. I found that you are very leisurely. He Wen Tao is no longer in the Wang Group, don't you think? Are you not busy at all? Why aren't you busy? I've always been a busy person, but aren't you here? I have to accompany you, you are my friend, you are Xiao's master, you are a distinguished guest of our Wang family, and now Wang, the executive vice president of the group, Ding Qiahe, is in his 50s, very capable, a veteran of the Wang Group, and is very loyal to me, Wang Shan said. Lin Feng had never heard the name Ding Qiahe before. Since Wang Shan made this person the executive vice president, then this person's ability should be beyond doubt, and his loyalty to Wang Shan should be okay. Code words are so interesting to you. Yes. Your answer is really straightforward. The annual salary is 1 million. Come to Wang Group to work. I will let you be the head of the department. Is your Wang Group being too generous to employees, and a department head can earn an annual salary of 1 million? Of course not. The annual salary of the head of the department is 200,000 to 300,000 yuan. It's just that I am very generous to you. It's a pity that you don't give me face and do not agree to work in Wang Group. I'm used to being free, and code words are more suitable for me, Lin Feng said. Maybe, but what I can tell you is that whenever you want to work in Wang Group in the future, just tell me, Wang Shan said. Lin Feng's cell phone rang. It was the call from the beautiful head nurse Zhu Qingyu. Zhu Qingyu's charming appearance flashed in his mind, and his body naturally reacted strongly. Linfeng said, "Sister Qingyu, are you looking for me? Do you have time in the evening? Have dinner together, then go to an 80s bar for a drink." "Where else? I don't really want to go." "It's alright, you really scared me yanking. In fact, all along, you have been taking advantage of her, but she hasn't even earned yours at all," Zhu Qingyu said. "It doesn't matter who gets what's cheap, the key is that she has always had a bad attitude towards me," Linfeng said. "Really not coming?" "Come." Linfeng finally agreed, because it was a pleasure to have dinner with the beautiful head nurse Zhu Qingyu. When Linfeng put on his mobile phone, Wang Shan asked a very funny question: "Do you have a lot of feelings for women who are older than you? Whether it's younger or older than me, as long as it's an adult, as long as it's attractive, I'll feel it," Linfeng said. Wang Shan laughed. "I noticed just now that when you were talking to my woman named Sister Qingyu, that thing of yours stood up." "Actually, my thing stood up before I spoke to her, not because she stood up, but because you stood up," Linfeng said. Wang Shan got angry and looked at Linfeng coldly. After a while, she punched him in the chest, shouting, "I'll let you tease me." Linfeng grabbed her wrist, dragged her into his arms, and kneaded against her towering chest. Once again, Wang Shan let out a very cry. Linfeng's mysterious touch almost brought her pleasure. She found that playing with Linfeng was more enjoyable than playing with He Wentao before. But Wang Shan didn't plan to put her body on her body when she was winning Linfeng, so she quickly pushed Linfeng away with an unhappy expression. "You remember, you are not allowed to eat my tofu casually in the future, otherwise I'll make you pay the price." "What price are you going to make me pay, the price of happiness or the price of pain?" Linfeng said. "Since it's the price, is there any happiness?" "Have what?" "For example, the price I paid was to take off my pants in front of you," Linfeng said. Wang Shan got angry and looked at Linfeng coldly. She wanted to lift her slender legs and kick him in the stomach, but she held back, because even if her slender legs were really lifted, she couldn't kick Linfeng. On her stomach, her legs might be hugged and stroked by Linfeng. It was already 3 o'clock in the afternoon when Linfeng left Wang Shan's villa. When he returned to the rented room, it was past 4 o'clock. He made an appointment to meet Zhu Qingyu at 6 o'clock, so he would have to go out later this afternoon. The code word is a bit unrealistic. Linfeng lay on the bed and planned to take a nap. He really fell asleep, and when Zhu Qingyu called him, he was sound asleep. The ringing of the mobile phone woke him up from the blurred dream. It was 6 o'clock, and it was the agreed meeting time, but he hadn't set out yet. Linfeng quickly picked it up and said embarrassedly, "Sister Qingyu, I'm so sorry, I was so sleepy just now. I planned to stare for a while, but I didn't expect to fall asleep." "Have you been staying up late lately? You're so tired that it makes you feel distressed." "It doesn't matter, you can just take a taxi to the bar in the 1980s. "Okay. This night, I will definitely see the beautiful me yanking." Linfeng feels very strange. I don't know if something strange will happen between him and me yanking this night. To be continued. Fast update, no pop-up, plain text. Peach Youth. Author, Su Kifeng. Chapter 516. Linfeng met Zhu Qingyu and me yanking at the same time. The beautiful head nurse dresses very elegantly, and the taste of that charm is fascinating. The cool and beautiful me yanking dresses very well, with tall and slender legs. The lines are outlined very prominently. The taste of the two beauties was a bit too overwhelming, and Linfeng's body naturally stood up, but at this time he was calm enough in front of the two beauties. Me Yanking's eyes flickered at Linfeng, as if asking him, "Am I charming?" Linfeng said, "Is there something wrong with your eyes? Have you gone to see a doctor?" Me Yanking said angrily, "You are really a who doesn't understand style. I don't even know what means you used to hook up with Tian Qingzhu, the school flower of Beijing Normal University. I'm just in a good mood, I let go of you, you just say I have a problem with my eyes, I only have a problem with your eyes, and many parts of your body have problems. Lin Feng smiled lukewarmly, too lazy to continue arguing with Mi Yanqing, and looked at Zhu Qingyu. Sister Qingyu, did you invite me to dinner, or did she invite me to dinner? She invited the two of us to dinner. Why? Because the two of us haven't had a good meal at the restaurant in the 1980s, since the restaurant opened, the business has been very hot, and Boss Mi is very happy, so he invited the two of us to dinner, Zhu Qingyu said. Lin Feng felt that it was not so simple. He already felt that Mi Yanqing invited him to dinner this time because he had something to help him. As for what it was hard to say. If it was Mi Yanqing, she would be lonely. I really want to be happy with him, and he is happy to agree. But this may not be very big. We went to the restaurant in the 1980s next to the bar in the 1980s. The layout of the restaurant of more than 2,000 square meters is very reasonable and luxurious. At this time, the more than 1,000 square meters of the lobby are almost full. If a hotel has such a hot business, even if you don't want to make money, it's hard. Lin Feng, Zhu Qingyu, and Mi Yanqing sat in the private room together. The heavy menu was placed in front of Lin Feng. Mi Yanqing said, "Let's order." "You are so enthusiastic about me all of a sudden, it makes me a little uncomfortable. Tell me, what's the matter? Please eat, what can I do? Hurry up and order food." "Of course, if you don't want to eat, you can leave now," Mi Yanqing said. "There is no reason not to eat." As soon as Lin Feng sat in, he was already full of appetite. If he just left and played a temper on the two beauties, it seemed that it would not benefit him at all. If he was casually angry with the beauties, he might not be able to eat tofu. Lin Feng opened the menu, ordered 3 signature dishes in a row, and then pushed the menu in front of Zhu Qingyu. Zhu Qingyu ordered 2 dishes, and then it was time for Mi Yanqing to play. Sure enough, Mi Yanqing was very generous. Ordered several dishes in a row, although only 3 people ate. But there are 12 dishes, and then he asked Feishan Maotai to come over. Mi Yanqing was in charge of pouring the wine, while Lin Feng was admiring her breasts. The moment she leaned over, Mi Yanqing's towering were turbulent, which made people think about it. Lin Feng touched her before, and it was very good. Mi Yanqing noticed that Lin Feng was admiring her breasts, and said in her heart, "You little pervert, I guess you are almost out of control, I can't be fascinated by you." After clinking glasses, Mi Yanqing smiled and said, "Lin Feng, we have had a lot of conflicts before, but speaking of it, you also made me a lot of money, and even your mansion was bought from me. After this meal, we are real friends." "Your words sound very touching, my tears are about to flow out," Lin Feng said. "Don't come, even if I talk about this smell for half an hour, you won't cry," Mi Yanqing said tenderly. After drinking a sip of wine, Lin Feng began to eat the dishes. The dishes tasted very good, which shows that the chefs in this restaurant are very skilled. There was talk and laughter. Half an hour had passed during the eating and drinking. Mi Yanqing did not say what was the matter with inviting Lin Feng to dinner, but Lin Feng could guess that something must have happened. 10 minutes later, the problem came out. Someone called Mi Yanqing and wanted to come to find her. Mi Yanqing was very unhappy, but she still agreed with that person to come. Although Lin Feng didn't hear the man's voice clearly, he knew that it was a man who called Mi Yanqing. Lin Feng continued to eat and drink, and it was estimated that Mi Yanqing would speak soon. Obviously, the beautiful Mi Yanqing invited him to dinner because she wanted him to be a shield. After clinking the glasses again, Mi Yanqing finally said, "Master Lin Feng, when someone named Ding Kai will come over, if he pesters me, you will beat him hard, it is best to knock out his front teeth." Lin Feng took a bite of the dish and put it in his mouth, looked at Mi Yanqing's face while eating and said, "I don't even know who Ding Kai is, and he has never provoked me, why should I knock out his front teeth?" but he provokes me. He sent a lot of nasty messages to my mobile phone. That kid actually wants me to be his lover. What kind of thing is he? I'm really off. We are friends, you just help me, Mi Yanqing said tenderly. Then it depends on my mood. If I'm in a good mood, then I'll help you. If I'm in a normal mood, I won't help you, Lin Feng said. Mi Yanqing and Zhu Qingyu looked at each other, and then Mi Yanqing looked at Lin Feng's face again. How can you feel better? Lin Feng lit a cigarette and took a breath. If you twist your at me a few times, I will feel better. Mi Yanqing's face turned red all of a sudden. Lin Feng was just playing her like a monkey, and actually wanted her to twist her butt. Mi Yanqing and Zhu Qingyu looked at each other again, then stood up, smiled charmingly, and twisted her round towards Lin Feng. Lin Fengzin said, "Beautiful Mi Yanqing, your big is really exciting. If you let me touch your a few times, my mood will be better." But Lin Feng just thought about it in his heart. It was not easy for Mi Yanqing to turn her against him. Lin Feng said, "No matter who Ding Kai is, if he pesters you later, I will knock out his front teeth. Enough friends and enough pride." The beautiful Mi Yanqing gave Lin Feng a thumbs up, but Lin Feng felt a little uncomfortable because he had acted as Mi Yanqing's shield. Ding Kai has arrived. He is driving $1 million off-road vehicle. He is handsome and burly and well-dressed. He has a gentleman's demeanor and a bit of evil charm. Men with this style are very attractive to beautiful women. But what Lin Feng can be sure of is that Ding Kai is not Mi Yanqing's dish, and Mi Yanqing doesn't want to be Ding Kai's lover. Ding Kai glanced at Lin Feng and Zhu Qingyu, smiled and said, "Yanqing, these two are your friends, you might as well introduce them to me. This is my friend Zhu Qingyu, the head nurse of the obstetrics and gynecology department of a large tertiary hospital, and this is my friend Lin Feng, a well-known internet author," Mi Yanqing said. Zhu Qingyu's charm naturally stimulated Ding Kai, but he did not take Lin Feng as an online author in his eyes, because in his opinion, no matter how popular an online author is, he is not on the same level as him. "Eat first, I'll wait for you in your room, and when you're done eating, the two of us will talk alone," Ding Kai said. "Chat alone?" Mi Yanqing was immediately disgusted and wanted to shout at Ding Kai, "I have nothing to chat with you, bastard." Mi Yanqing said, "If you are in the mood, sit down and eat something. If you are not in the mood, you can leave now." Ding Kai's face turned cold, because Mi Yanqing has always been cold to him, especially now, in front of two outsiders. He doesn't give him any face at all. Ding Kai sat beside Lin Feng and said with a smile, "Little author, let's touch one. What you said just now made me very upset, so I don't want to clink glasses with you. If you want to drink, drink it yourself." Lin Feng was already planning to take action, so he hoped that what he said just now would anger Ding Kai. Ding Kai seems to be very gentlemanly, but in fact he is a very hot-tempered person. Whether it is a man or a woman, even a very high-quality beauty can easily irritate him. Ding Kai got up angrily and looked at Lin Feng coldly. "Are you looking for a beating? What kind of thing are you talking to me like that? I want to clink glasses with you because I look down on you." "Thank you." Ding Kai, who had practiced boxing for a period of time before, punched Lin Feng in the face. With his monotonous boxing technique and not very good speed, his fist was destined to be unable to hit Lin Feng's face. The moment Lin Feng dodged, he punched Ding Kai's stomach. Hearing a bang, Ding Kai screamed in pain and bent down. It was at the moment when he bent over Lin Feng slammed a punch hit him in the mouth. This punch is incredible. Ding Kai was beaten with blood, and not one, but two front teeth were lost. Ding Kai rolled to the ground in pain, but Mi Yanqing and Zhu Qingyu were a little nervous. Ding Kai left in embarrassment, and Mi Yanqing said, "Did you just shoot a little too hard?" Lin Feng smiled and said, "It's not too cruel. He just bleeds a little and lost two front teeth. Besides, you asked me to do this. If you blame me, it's a bit too boring." You misunderstood, I didn't blame you, you did a good job just now, let's continue to eat, Mi Yanqing said. Lin Feng and the two beauties continued to eat and drink. Ding Kai returned to his private house and dealt with the injury on his face, but his entire face was swollen and two front teeth were lost. Ding Kai is none other than the son of Ding Qiahe, the newly appointed executive vice president of Weyang Group. To be continued. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Peach Youth. Author, Su Kefen. Chapter 517. Wang Shan values Ding Qiahe very much, and Ding Qiahe is very protective. The problem now is that Lin Feng knocked out two of Ding Kai's teeth in order to help the beautiful Mi Yanqing. Very shameless, Ding Kai had the heart to destroy Lin Feng, called one of his lovers named Zhang Xia, and then leaned on the sofa, humming non-stop. Zhang Xia is a very simple woman. She is quite famous in the Beijing Sanda world. She is also very beautiful, temperamental, and clean. Unfortunately, she has become the lover of someone like Ding Zai. When Zhang Xia arrived, seeing Ding Kai being beaten like this, she said angrily, "Who beat you?" "Lin Feng." "Who is Lin Feng?" Zhang Xia asked. "I haven't seen him before, and I've never heard of him, but he should know Kung Fu. I practiced boxing for a while before, but in front of him, I don't even have the ability to fight back. That must be Kung Fu. Where is Lin Feng? I'll find him," Zhang Xia said. It was a restaurant in the 1980s, now it should be a bar in the 1980s. "I'll go over here, and I'll make him miserable." Zhang Xia drove off in the Lexus SUV that Ding Kai had bought for her, and soon arrived at a bar in the 1980s. At this time, Lin Feng and the two beauties had already arrived at Mi Yanqing's room. When she heard a knock on the door, Mi Yanqing said, "It's so fast." "What's so fast?" "It is estimated that Ding Kai's gold medalist is here." "Who is his gold medalist?" "Zhang Xia." "I haven't heard of it," Lin Feng said. "Zhang Xia is very famous in the Beijing Sanda world. Although your Kung Fu is very high, you don't know much about Beijing's Kung Fu world, but your good friend Li Xingguo must have heard of Zhang Xia." Mi Yanqing walked over to open the door, and Lin Feng followed her there. "What I'm afraid of is that Zhang Xia will give Mi Yanqing a shot at the moment when the door is opened. This possibility is there, if Zhang Xia is a ruthless person. The moment the door opens, Zhang Xia instantly slapped Mi Yanqing in the face. Lin Feng grabbed Zhang Xia's wrist and pushed her hard. Zhang Xia staggered a few steps and almost fell to the ground. "Does this woman have rabies? Why did you hit someone when she first came?" Lin Feng said. Zhang Xia's face changed slightly, but she didn't expect Lin Feng's shot to be so fast. Could it be that this kid is really a master, but it doesn't look like it? She has seen many masters before, and many of them are better than her, but those masters are not like Lin Feng. "Can I come in and talk?" Zhang Xia asked. "It depends on what Yanqing means," Lin Feng said. Mi Yanqing nodded in agreement, and Zhang Xia walked in. "Sit on the sofa." Zhang Xia said, "Lin Feng, I came here to find you, because you knocked out Ding Kai's two front teeth, so I will knock out your two front teeth." "If you want to knock out my two front teeth, it depends on whether you have that ability," Lin Feng said. "Why don't we make an appointment to play a game?" "No, if you want to fight, fight here. This room is big enough for you to use it," Lin Feng said. Zhang Xia had no objection and looked at Mi Yanqing. "This is what your good friend Lin Feng said. If you destroy the things in this room, it has nothing to do with me at all. Zhang Xia, since you're here, let go and fight my friend Lin Feng." Mi Yanqing said in her heart, "I've seen it from the doorman just now, you're not Lin Feng's opponent at all, it's fine to let him take care of you." The scene just now at the door. Zhang Xia is obviously very passive, but she came out of the Sanda team and has achieved good results before, So she thinks that she can repair Lin Feng with confidence. Jiang Xia leaned over to Lin Feng and looked at the woman up close. There is really so much flavor, no wonder Ding Kai, a dummy, can see her and make her a lover. Having a lover who knows kung fu can be a very pleasant thing or a very painful thing for a man. It's cool because this lover can be a thug at a critical moment, and it's painful because, if you annoy this lover, it's very likely that she will fix it with effort. Lin Feng didn't know if Jiang Xia repaired Ding Zai with her kung fu, but Jiang Xia really wanted to repair him with her kung fu. He would not let Jiang Xia succeed. Know what pain is? Jiang Xia's fist hit Lin Feng's face. When Lin Feng dodged, Jiang Xia's slender legs lifted up and kicked towards his chest. Lin Feng continued to dodge, Jiang Xia became furious, and her slender legs attacked Lin Feng frantically. One by one whip legs came towards him. Lin Feng evaded and blocked, and seemed to be passive, but Jiang Xia knew very well that her violent attack just now seemed to be fierce, but she actually didn't make any money. Mi Yanqing and Zhu Qingyu were a little flustered. Neither of them were very proficient in kung fu, so it seemed that Lin Feng was no match for Jiang Xia. Jiang Xia's slender legs kicked over again, and Lin Feng, whose body was about to touch the table, dodged and hugged Jiang Xia's legs, stroking her thighs. You are really a very good woman. You have a good kung fu and a good figure. Your thighs are really elastic. It's very refreshing to touch. Jiang Xia was so angry that she violently attacked Lin Feng's head with her fists, but she couldn't hit him. Lin Feng's fist hit Jiang Xia's chest, and at the same time he released Jiang Xia's leg. Jiang Xia screamed in pain and fell out. After falling to the ground, she gasped for breath, and tears almost splashed out. She first let Lin Feng eat tofu, and then let Lin Feng beat him again. The punch from Lin Feng just now was really heavy. Jiang Xia finally understood that she was no match for Lin Feng at all, and the gap was huge. Mi Yanqing and Zhu Qingyu also understood that at the beginning, Lin Feng looked passive, but he was actually teasing Jiang Xia, and the punch that hit Jiang Xia's stomach was the real deal. But Lin Feng also showed mercy to Jiang Xia. He did not use his sturdy legs to deal with Jiang Xia, otherwise Jiang Xia might be covered in blood at this time. In the face of beautiful women, it is still very beneficial to have a little affection, as long as this beauty is not evil enough to be unbearable. Lin Feng walked up to Jiang Xia. I think you still have the ability to stand up, it seems a bit too embarrassed to keep falling on the ground. This embarrassment has a strong contrast with your temperament, you should go quickly, don't do it in the future. You are helping Ding Kai to deal with me, otherwise I will deal with you in very strange ways. Jiang Xia didn't even have the guts to argue with Lin Feng, so she barely got up and left. Very angry, but she really has nothing to do with Lin Feng right now. The beautiful Mi Yanqing slapped her hands, and at the same time her graceful waist twisted. Lin Feng, you are so strong, I admire you so much. Lin Feng found that Mi Yanqing twisted like a big green worm just now, but Mi Yanqing was much more attractive than the big green worm. The face is beautiful and the figure is so graceful that it makes men dizzy. At the same time, Lin Feng also thought of his netizen, De Qingzong, that female netizen who liked to tease him during this time. Could De Qingzong be Mi Yanqing? Lin Feng was going to try it out. He smiled and said, guess what I thought of when I looked at you just now. Mi Yanqing thought that Lin Feng was thinking of a very wet scene, such as her underwear or taking off her underwear. You kid is too evil sometimes. The devil knows what you just thought. I thought of the big caterpillar. Damn it, aren't you too talented, in front of a beautiful beauty like me, you thought of a bug, are you looking for a kick? Mi Yanqing seemed to be angry. Any beautiful woman who thinks of a bug when a man faces her will probably get angry. Isn't she a big caterpillar? Lin Feng didn't see the concealment from Mi Yanqing's face just now. Never mind. He didn't bother to think about it. Just think about what happens next. Ding Kai is the son of Ding Kuahe, and Ding Kuahe is the new executive vice president of Weyang Group. I am afraid that Chairman Wang Shan will soon know that he has repaired Ding Kai. Zhang Xia is back. Knowing that she asked Lin Feng to fix it, Ding Zai suffered even more. Even Zhang Xia couldn't deal with Lin Feng. He could only tell his father and let him help him find a way to deal with Lin Feng. Zhang Xia didn't say that Lin Feng molested her and touched her thigh, otherwise Ding Kai might despise her. Zhang Xia's stomach was injured. Ask Ding Kai to give her a massage. Ding Kai is very depressed, but he can only massage Zhang Xia first. Halfway through the massage, Ding Kai broke into Zhang Xia's body and cracked hard. Zhang Xia's stomach hurts. But she still used superb bed skills to cooperate with Ding Kai's onslaught. Lin Feng and Zhu Qingyu played together at the bar in the 1980s until after midnight, and they enjoyed drinking and dancing. When dancing, Zhu Qingyu, this charming woman, was very wild, and even sweated from exhaustion. Walking on the street, the cold wind blew on him, and Zhu Qingyu immediately got into Lin Feng's arms. Lin Feng was even taken aback. He liked to play ambiguous with Zhu Qingyu, but Zhu Qingyu's intensity at this time really scared him. Lin Feng hugged Zhu Qingyu and didn't let go until she got into the car. When she got into the car, what Lin Feng wanted to ask most was, "Beauty, I'm drunk tonight, can you accompany me to the car?" If he just asked this question, even if Zhu Qingyu had the heart to play Che Zhen with him, he would probably refuse and ridicule him a few times. Many times, the car shock is not an appointment, but happens naturally. As long as the mood is there, any place may become a warm place. When Zhu Qingyu was about to start the car, Lin Feng put his arms around her waist and began to stroke her chest. Zhu Qingyu was not disgusted by Lin Feng's touch, and smiled charmingly, "Don't touch it, be careful to let people see it. Besides, if you touch me like this, how can I drive?" Then just spend one night in the car. Lin Feng continued to touch Zhu Qingyu's towering chest through the clothes. "You kid still wants to play chess with me. Your ambition is really big, but I'm not in that mood," Zhu Qingyu said. It seems that there will be no car shock tonight, and Lin Feng doesn't want to go to Zhu Qingyu's house anymore, because he has been stimulated enough. If he arrives at Zhu Qingyu's house, this charming woman will continue to stimulate him, but he will not let him. It will be hard to bear. To be continued. Peach Youth. Author, Su Kifeng. Chapter 518. Even Zhang Xia is not Lin Feng's opponent. Ding Kai is even more depressed. He must make Lin Feng pay the price in the short term, otherwise his face will be thrown on the street, and in his circle, his glorious image will be seriously affected. Influences. As a last resort, Ding Kai could only tell his father, Ding Kuahe, of his depressing experience. Ding Kuahe usually seems to be a very reasonable person, and the impression he left on most people is the same. In fact, he is a very protective person, especially for his precious son Ding Kai, who is very pampered. When Ding Kai was already in high school in the future, the thing has already developed, and the hair is very strong, but he will still walk around naked in front of his parents. When he is happy, he will flick the thing with his finger and let the gun tremble in front of his parents, thus proving that he is a grown man. In the face of Ding Kai's behavior, Ding Kuahe would just pretend to be angry and laugh and scold, which shows that his indulgence of Ding Kai has reached a level that is unbelievable for ordinary people. Ding Kai naturally hoped that Ding Kuahe would find someone to repair Lin Feng immediately, but Ding Kuahe knew that Lin Feng was the master of Wang Shan's younger brother Wang Le, so he couldn't do it easily. Even if Lin Feng had to pay the price, he had to go through Wang Shan. It was another afternoon, when Lin Feng was typing, his cell phone rang. At this time, he didn't want his cell phone to ring, and he didn't even want any sound other than the keyboard beside him. Seeing that it was Wang Shan, Lin Feng felt a little depressed. It was estimated that she already knew that Ding Kai, the son of the new vice president Ding Kuahe, had been repaired. Lin Feng picked it up and said with a smile, "Sister Wang." What's wrong? Do you miss me again? Yeah, I miss you, I want to beat you. Why do you want to beat me? Did you dream that I forced you to see me? So you want to beat me? You kid, give me some seriousness. Let me ask you, why did you beat Ding Kai? Don't you know that he is Ding Kuahe's son? Wang Shan said. No. Then you still fight. He should fight because he pesters my friend, Lin Feng said. Are you really giving no face at all? Give it when you should give it, and don't give it when you shouldn't, Lin Feng said. Wang Shan thought that she could talk about the problem clearly on the phone, and then asked Lin Feng to apologize to Ding Kai. It doesn't seem to work, she has to go there herself. Is your kid in your mansion or your rented house? The rented house, I'm typing. I don't want to see anyone right now. If you want to come to me, please come in 2 hours. All right. Wang Shan was so angry that she really wanted to lift her slender legs and kick Lin Feng's thing hard, causing him to scream in pain. But Lin Feng is sometimes a guy who doesn't eat hard and soft, and his kung fu is so high that it is indeed difficult to find any good way to deal with him. Unless he is completely destroyed, Lin Feng is still useful to her, and she cannot completely destroy him. 2 hours later, when Lin Feng wrote 10,000 words, Wang Shan also came, and she came alone. He didn't even bring a driver, he was dressed in a shirt with high leather boots, very stylish and unrestrained. When Wang Shan walked into the room, the smell of high-end perfume diffused in his room, which was a smell that could easily stimulate the secretion of hormones. Sitting on the very simple sofa, Wang Shan looked indifferent and said angrily, I just ask you, can I apologize to Ding Kai? You hit him first, then Zhang Xia, I just want you to apologize. You don't even have to pay for it, isn't it too much? If I want to apologize, it's not too much for you to ask me to apologize. If I don't want to apologize, it's too much for you to ask me to apologize, Lin Feng said. Wang Shan's fist hit Lin Feng like a spoiled brat. She said softly, you are deliberately preventing me from coming down the stage. I am the chairman of Wang Group. How can you give me face like this? Lin Feng suddenly took Wang Shan into his arms and said with a smile, I am very interested in your body. If you can accompany me, I will apologize to Ding Kai. Lin Feng knew that Wang Shan would not accompany him to do that kind of thing easily, and he said this to deliberately anger Wang Shan. Wang Shan's nose was almost crooked with anger, and she said angrily, you is too much. I really want to shoot you to death. I know you have a gun, and you have several guns. Have you ever shot someone with a gun before? No. Don't slander me, kid, I've never killed anyone in my hands, but your kid's kung fu is so high, have you killed anyone before? I have no life in my hands, because I am a very cautious person. Even if you ask the police to check me, I can't find any problems, but if the police check you, they will say two things. If you don't do anything else, I will not apologize to Ding Kai, Lin Feng said. Wang Shan did not leave immediately. She had to convince Lin Feng to apologize to Ding Zai, otherwise she, the chairman, would be very embarrassed in front of the vice president Ding Kuahe. If the matter spreads, there will be many people in Wang Group criticize her. Wang Shan touched Lin Feng's body with her fragrant shoulder and smiled charmingly, are you so interested in my body? You are a beautiful woman and a mature woman, do you think I am very interested in your body? But I'm still a divorced woman. Some divorced women are very tasteful, like you. Lin Feng's smile at this time is a little evil. He is not a person who is always evil, but once he becomes evil, he will be very characteristic, so that others can't understand why he is like this. It's not possible to want me to be with you for the time being, because I haven't been mentally prepared yet, but I can let you touch it. Take it off and let me touch it. If you don't take it off, just touch it, Wang Shan said. To touch or not to see? Lin Feng said, you can touch anywhere. Touch whatever you want. That's what you said, Lin Feng said. I said it, Wang Shan said. In this case, Lin Feng didn't need to be polite, and his hand went directly into Wang Shan's trousers. He stroked her moist softness. Just a moment of touching made him feel that Wang Shan, a divorced woman, is really big. Maybe she's a celebrity. Lin Feng planned to try the body of the woman who tried to use him to deal with the leaves in the future. Lin Feng touched Wang Shan's wet place too much with his hand for almost 5 minutes before he took it out. Wang Shan was panting just now. Although she was very angry, she was a little relieved, but fortunately she held back. No cry. Satisfied. It's okay, Lin Feng said. But I'm very depressed. Why don't you touch me too? Don't come, I'm leaving. When you go to Wang Group tomorrow morning, apologize in front of Ding Qiahe and Ding Ziyawai, Wang Shan said. No problem. Since he has teased the chairman Wang Shan's wet place for so long, Lin Feng doesn't mind apologizing to Ding Qiahe, no matter what the face is. Anyway, he is already cool, as long as he thinks he has nothing to lose, he can basically do it. At dinner time, Lin Feng brought the food to the small shop. Dainan and Tian Qingzu were both there, and the three of them ate together. Lin Feng occasionally looked at Tian Qingzu's face and admired her popularity. Tian Qingzu said shyly, Brother Feng, you are already familiar with me. What happened today? It seems that you have never seen me. Because you are so cute today. Why am I so cute? Because there is a grain of rice at the corner of your mouth, Lin Feng said. Tian Qingzu was stunned for a moment, and at this time, Dainan, who had not paid attention just now, also looked at Tian Qingzu's face and found that there was really a grain of rice at the corner of her mouth, and immediately laughed. Tian Qingzu embarrassedly wiped off the rice grains from the corners of his mouth, smiled embarrassedly and continued to eat. After eating together, Lin Feng touched Tian Qingzu's buttocks. If the two were alone, Tian Qingzu wouldn't mind Lin Feng touching any part of her body, and Dainan was by her side, so she was a little embarrassed. Dainan knew that Lin Feng did this to deliberately stimulate her, so she was very depressed and wanted to hit Lin Feng a few times, but she couldn't hit Lin Feng in front of Tian Qingzu. Lin Feng and Tian Qingzu made an appointment to spend the night in the mansion together, and then returned to the rented house to code. In the afternoon, he had already typed 10,000 words, and this evening he planned to code out 5,000 words. This is a total of 15,000 words. According to his current manuscript fee standard, his income is about 3,000 yuan. With a sense of accomplishment, Lin Feng began to watch movies to kill time, and began to wait for the wonderful time between him and Tian Qingzu. After 11 o'clock in the evening, Lin Feng and Tian Qingzu arrived at his mansion, which was a little messy, because there was no one to take care of it here, and Lin Feng would only clean up the room every time he came over. But the luxury here is always very comfortable. Even if Tian Qingzu is not a materialistic girl, she likes it very much. While sitting on the soft sofa and drinking water, Lin Feng stroked Tian Qingzu's body. Tian Qingzu's soft chest brought Lin Feng a very good enjoyment. Under Lin Feng's touch, Tian Qingzu's face was as red as peach blossoms, and she was breathing slightly, which showed that she was very comfortable. Oh don't be too anxious, I still watch TV. When Lin Feng went to take off her pants, Tian Qingzu shouted. She was going to watch TV for an hour first, but Lin Feng had already taken off her pants. Oh Tian Qingzu shouted again, because Lin Feng even took off her trousers, and was already flirting with her Daowen. Oh Tian Qingzu's shout was exceptionally loud this time, because Lin Feng had already broken into her body and moved. Tian Qingzu could only put his arms around Lin Feng's neck and throw himself into that kind of sex, and the first wave of pleasure soon hit her. This evening, Lin Feng and Tian Qingzu had a great time, and this morning, Lin Feng was going to the Wang Group to apologize to Ding Ziyawai. If as expected, Zhang Xia would also be there. Update fast, no pop-ups, Plain text. Peach Youth. Author, Sci-fi. Chapter 519. Lin Feng found a problem. When he took Tian Qingzu out of the mansion, Tian Qingzu was nostalgic, as if she wanted to stay in this luxurious big house for a while longer. Holding Tian Qingzu Xiangjian and walking on the road of the high-end community, Lin Feng said, "This mansion is mine and yours too. After the two of us get married, we can live here every day. Brother Feng, you are so kind to me, but unfortunately, I can't marry you right after graduation. I have to go back to Qiaoshan town, Shu province to teach books for a year. Sometimes I lie down in bed and think about it. I will feel sorry for you." "Qingzu, don't say that. I'm very satisfied to have such a good girlfriend as you, but there are many people in and outside Beijing Normal University who envy me." Lin Feng sent Tian Qingzu back to Beijing Normal University and went to the store. Seeing Dinan sitting on a chair beside the cashier, applying lip gloss, he walked over and twisted Dinan's face. "Oh ah!" Dinan's beautiful eyes widened, and he lifted his leg and kicked at Lin Feng. Lin Feng didn't dodge, but let Dinan's slender legs kick his ass. Powerful enough. Dinan's slender legs brought a certain impact to Lin Feng's buttocks. It was a little painful, but there was a fragrance that made him very comfortable. Lin Feng smiled and said, "Negotiate it." "Discuss what?" "Starting today, how about you give me 2 feet on my every day," Lin Feng said. Dinan's face turned red all of a sudden. She was originally very angry, but after a while she couldn't help laughing. "You are really sick. I just like you. It's best not to let Qingzu hear you say this to me, or she will be sad." Dinan's heart is very warm. Since the relationship with Lin Feng got better, the lake water has never disappeared in her heart. Lin Feng received a call from Wang Shan, chairman of Wang Group, and told him to hurry over, saying that Ding Kai and Zhang Xia had already arrived. As expected by Lin Feng, Zhang Xia really went too. Anyway, he had already earned Wang Shan's cheapness and touched Wang Shan's wet place, so he didn't mind apologizing to Ding Kai. When Lin Feng arrived at the Wang Group, there was only one person waiting for him outside, his apprentice Wang Le. Lin Feng didn't want to admit that Wang Le was his apprentice. But Wang Le was indeed his apprentice. "Master. You are here." Ding Kai is shit. In fact, my sister asked you to apologize to him just for the sake of face, just to make that old man Ding Kai feel more comfortable, master. Don't be depressed." "I'm not depressed." Lin Feng smiled. Although Wang Li's apprentice is a little bit bad. But what he said just now made Lin Feng feel very comfortable. Lin Feng and Wang Le went to Wang Shan's luxurious office together. The moment he saw Lin Feng, Ding Kai stood up. It seemed that he was about to rush over, but Zhang Xia blocked it. Ding Kai's face was ashen, and he looked very pompous. In order to show Ding Kai, Wang Shan's face was also a little cold. "Lin Feng, Ding Kai and Zhang Xia are both here, so please apologize." Lin Feng said, "Ding Kai, I was a little sorry for you before. I beat you. As long as you don't pester me yanking in the future, I won't continue to repair you." All the people were quiet, because Lin Feng's apology was a bit wrong. Is there such a thing as an apology? Lin Feng also felt that his tone was a bit wrong, but what he said was completely correct. He had to tell Ding Kai this very clearly, otherwise unforeseen things might happen in the future. In front of everyone, Ding Kai walked over to Lin Feng. His eyes were very cold, and when he waved his fist, he hit Lin Feng in the face. Lin Feng avoided his fist and said with a smile, "I have already apologized, it would be a bit wrong for you to do it again." Ding Kai was reluctant to give up, and his fist waved again and hit Lin Feng in the face. This time the punch was stronger and faster than the previous punch, but Lin Feng still avoided it easily. At Ding Kai's level, as long as Lin Feng didn't want to eat his fist, there was almost no chance of his fist hitting Lin Feng's face. Ding Qiahe naturally didn't say anything. Zhang Xia didn't seem to have any intention of blocking Ding Qiahe, she probably felt that Lin Feng was unlikely to fight back under such circumstances. Especially for Wang Shan, Lin Feng felt that Wang Shan should stand up and say something at this time. He couldn't continue to let Ding Qiahe toss, but Wang Shan also seemed to want to let Ding Qiahe toss. Seeing that Ding Qiahe's fist hit his face again, Lin Feng evaded and hit Ding Qiahe's stomach with his fist. Ah! Ding Qiahe took a punch in the stomach, and immediately bent down, covered his stomach with his hands, and cried out in pain. Lin Feng slapped Ding Qiahe in the face again, Ding Qiahe fell to the ground, and his nosebleed splashed out. "You're an ignorant thing." Lin Feng sneered and left Wang Shan's luxurious office. Everyone was stunned, and Lin Feng's apology finally ended by beating Ding Qiahe again. Zhang Xia regretted that just now, she should have held Ding Qiahe, but she mistakenly thought that Lin Feng would endure it forever, but Lin Feng went mad. Ding Qiahe roared, "Chairman Wang, you see, Lin Feng is too arrogant." Wang Shan said angrily, "I won't mention who was right and who was wrong in the past." This time, Zhao Wei was at fault. Lin Feng came to apologize, but he had to punch Lin Feng in the face. Lin Feng is a person. It's normal to be angry, no matter if you are satisfied or not. Lin Feng, my brother's master, he has already given you humility, if you continue to toss, it will not give me face. The room was quiet again. Ding Qiahe's face changed, obviously not as angry as before, and gave Zhang Xia a wink. Zhang Xia quickly helped Ding Qiahe and walked out. Wang Li wanted to laugh, but in this case, he just smiled in his heart, thinking that Ding Xiaowei was an idiot. After Wang Li went out, Ding Qiahe accompanied him with a smile, "Chairman Wang, in fact, I have absolutely no intention of embarrassing Lin Feng. Don't get me wrong, this is the end of the matter, and I will never pursue it." "You can't pursue it? If you upset me, it won't do you any good. You are a talent, but there are many talents in the Wang Group. You are suitable for being the vice president of the Wang Group. Others are also suitable." "I prefer obedient person," Wang Shan said. "Chairman Wang, you can rest assured. I will listen to you very much in the future, and I will warn Zhao Wei. Let him not pester me yanking in the future, nor go against Lin Feng." "This is the best," Wang Shan said. After leaving Wang Group, Lin Feng was walking on the nearby road, and Wang Li quickly chased after him and followed him. Occasionally hey laughter. "Master, you are so fierce. I admire you so much. That Ding Qiahe deserves to be beaten. I want to beat him. I am afraid that if I beat him, my sister will fix me." "You don't need to beat him, didn't I clean him up again?" "This time I cleaned up in front of his father," Lin Feng said. "When will you teach me Kung Fu again?" "When there is time." "Do you have time today?" "Not today." "What about tomorrow?" "I don't have time tomorrow. Let's talk about it in a few days. Practice Kung Fu slowly. You can't become a master in a day or two." Lin Fengzin said, "In fact, as a master, I don't want your kid to become a master, because you are more evil than Ding Qiahe." It was almost noon when Lin Feng returned to the familiar street. When he arrived at the small shop, he saw Dainan and Tian Qingzi chatting. Lin Feng told the scene of his apology to Ding Qiahe, and both Dainan and Tian Qingzi laughed. It was probably really funny, so even Tian Qingzi, the always reserved girl, laughed happily. Dainan said, "Didn't you offend Wang Shan like this? You said before that Wang Shan is more evil than Black Rose." "Wang Shan is more evil than Hey Rose, because in my heart, Hey Rose is no longer an evil woman, but I'm not afraid of Wang Shan. I have a way to deal with her." Lin Fengzin said, "If she is angry, I will use that thing to deal with her. I will make her very happy, and I will also make her very depressed." After having dinner together, Lin Feng went back to the rented master bedroom to code. He hadn't chatted with the beauty editor Ai Wen for a while. Lin Feng also sent a message to Ai Wen while coding, "What are you doing?" Ai Wen, "Busy with work." Lin Feng, "Have dinner together after get off work?" Evan, "All right." Lin Feng thought that Ai Wen would not agree, but she did not expect her to agree so happily, but Lin Feng was a little tangled again, and he didn't know what attitude he should maintain after meeting Ai Wen. After more than 3 hours, Lin Feng coded out 12,000 words, and browsed the news for almost an hour, and then set off and arrived at the meeting place he and Ai Wen agreed. When he saw Ai Wen, she was still so charming, and there was a very literary aura from her body. For Lin Feng and many men, it was a very charming aura. In the private room of the restaurant, Lin Feng and Ai Wen sat down. After ordering the dishes, Lin Feng lit a cigarette and started smoking. Looking at Ai Wen's face through the smoke, there was no smell. Noticing that Lin Feng was looking at her face, Ai Wen avoided her eyes. In fact, Lin Feng only looked at her for less than 3 seconds before he looked away, but Ai Wen felt that Lin Feng was looking at her face all the time. "Are you sick? What are you doing looking at my face all the time?" Ai Wen said angrily. "I was looking at your face just now, but I haven't looked at your face anymore," Lin Feng said. "Don't look at my face in the future." "Then where do I see you?" Lin Fengzin said, "Could it be that I don't see your face, but only your chest?" But if this kind of teasing is very strong, he can't say it to Ai Wen easily now, because he understands Ai Wen's feelings for him very well, and he obviously can't abandon Tian Qingzu and Ai Wen to come together. They were drinking white wine. Lin Feng and Ai Wen finished drinking a bottle of white wine and ate a lot of food. After walking out of the restaurant, Lin Feng planned to take Ai Wen home after walking around the nearby streets, but Ai Wen offered to go. 80s bar dance. To be continued. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Peach Youth. Author, Su Kifeng. Chapter 520. When Lin Feng and Ai Wen arrived at the bar in the 1980s, Mi Yanqing, the beautiful owner, was chatting with 2 friends by the side of the road. Seeing that it was Lin Feng and his beautiful editor, Mi Yanqing laughed immediately. In the past, Mi Yanqing often played badly on Lin Feng in front of Ai Wen, and there were 2 times when Ai Wen misunderstood that Lin Feng had done something unbearable, but this time Mi Yanqing did not have any intention of doing bad things to Lin Feng, because Lin Feng helped her deal with it. Ding Kuahe's son Ding Kai made her very grateful. Mi Yanqing said something to her 2 friends and walked over to Lin Feng and Ai Wen. Lin Feng felt tight and said, "Mi Yanqing, you can't talk nonsense in front of Ai Wen this time. You're still doing the same thing. See if I don't spank your hard, I'll spank your round into a bruise and turn your sense of letter into pain. Lin Feng, you are really good. You take the beautiful editor-in-chief to dinner, and you don't come to my restaurant in the 1980s. I will give you a discount. Where did you eat this, and you drank a lot of wine?" This is what Mi Yanqing said, but Lin Feng is still completely acceptable. He smiled and said, "I just found a place to eat. I originally planned to come and play, but Ai Wen wanted to come, so I came with her, and I will give it to her in the future. Your restaurant is very popular, and besides, your restaurant business is so good, even if I never come to eat in my life, you will make a lot of money." Sounds pissed. What does it mean to never come to eat for the rest of your life? Mi Yanqing suddenly wanted to lift her slender legs to give Lin Feng's a kick, but if she just kicked Lin Feng's in front of Ai Wen, Lin Feng would definitely fix her. "Forget it, I have to endure it first, and then I will take care of you when I have a chance," since Lin Feng started to help her deal with Ding Kai. Mi Yanqing is not so eager to repair Lin Feng, but she really wants to repay Lin Feng, but she has not yet thought of a suitable method. Perhaps praising Lin Feng in front of Ai Wen's face is equivalent to repaying him. Mi Yanqing looked at Ai Wen's face and smiled. Lin Feng is a very good person. He is good at kung fu and writing novels. I thought I wouldn't have any interest in his novels, but what I didn't expect was that even I gradually became his book fan, and I was reading his books during this time. It was really exciting. Yeah, the novels written by Lin Feng are very good. Although Mi Yanqing praised Lin Feng, Ai Wen's face was a little red while expressing his affirmation, as if he was emotional. Mi Yanqing began to laugh in her heart. Lin Feng, you kid. Ai Wen should be in love with you. Facing Tian Qingzu and Ai Wen, what kind of choice will you make? In my opinion, you and Yvonne seem to be more suitable. Mi Yanqing and the two friends left, and Lin Feng and Ai Wen walked into the 1980s bar together. The second floor is very lively. The laser lights are shining, the dance music is roaring, and the men and women in their temperament are showing their passion in a joyful way. Lin Feng and Ai Wen blended into the dance floor. Swing and dance together, while admiring each other's faces in a blurred atmosphere. Ai Wen fell into Lin Feng's arms as soon as his feet were crooked. This was really a scene that Lin Feng did not expect. Ai Wen's face was very painful, and it was obvious that he had slapped his foot. Lin Feng worried, "Are you alright? It hurts. Let me see." Lin Feng helped Ai Wen out of the dance floor, helped Ai Wen out of the bar in the 1980s, and sat in her car. "Let me see your feet. You really hate it? It's so embarrassing to see what my feet do," Ai Wen said tenderly. "Your foot is sprained, I'll take a look and give you some treatment. Are you still healing? If it's something else. Maybe not, but I'm very good at spraining my feet." Lin Feng took off Ai Wen's socks and saw that Ai Wen's left ankle was swollen. "Oh, it hurts." When Lin Feng kneaded her, Ai Wen couldn't help crying out. Lin Feng continued to knead. He smiled and said, "It won't hurt in a while. If you can't get better soon, by tomorrow morning, your feet will be even more swollen, and I'm afraid it will even be difficult to walk." More than 10 minutes later, Ai Wen's feet didn't hurt so much. He smiled brightly at Lin Feng, and soon kissed him on the face. Lin Feng and Ai Wen had kissed passionately before, and the taste was very wonderful. Although it was a while ago, Lin Feng still remembers it fresh, but Ai Wen's sudden kiss just now was very special and made his heart beating wildly. Lin Feng even thought of the first kiss between him and his first girlfriend Shen Bingqian in college. That kind of heartbeat will never be forgotten in a lifetime. At this time, they both have their own lives, which are a bit unexpected and a bit confusing. Ai Wen smiled and said, as expected of someone who has a girlfriend, "I just kissed your face, you are embarrassed to be like this, you still remember the scene when you ate my tofu before, you seemed to be at that time. It's very interesting." Lin Feng has indeed eaten a lot of tofu from Ai Wen, and he remembers every ambiguous scene, and the aftertaste will be very sweet. Under these circumstances, the only thing Lin Feng could do was to hold Ai Wen tightly and kiss her lips hard. Lin Feng's wildness made Ai Wen's breath very fast. When Ai Wen's lips opened, Lin Feng's tongue slipped in. In the hot kiss, the two hot bodies were clinging to each other, and Ai Wen's towering chest had been stimulating Lin Feng's sensitive nerves. Lin Feng stroked Ai Wen's belly. Lin Feng stroked Ai Wen's chest. Lin Feng even wanted to put his hand into Ai Wen's trousers, but he finally controlled it. If he really did that, Ai Wen would definitely call him a hooligan, and maybe give him 2 slaps. After the ambiguity subsided, Ai Wen said angrily, "You ate my tofu again, get out of here. It's okay if you drive me back. I'm too lazy to send you, get out of the car quickly." Ai Wen had no intention to send Lin Feng off, he could only get out of the car. Ai Wen drove away, the cold wind blew on Lin Feng's body, his body was very tall, but at the moment his heart was a little lonely. This kind of loneliness is brought about by disappointment. Lin Feng is worthy of Tian Qingzu, but he seems to have really failed Ai Wen. Lin Feng didn't dare to imagine what his relationship with Ai Wen would be like if he continued to develop. Walking slowly, Lin Feng lit a cigarette and smoked, blowing out several puffs of smoke in a row, and he found that someone was following him behind him. Track. Who the is following him? Lin Feng's anger suddenly burned. Could it be that Ding Kai's boy found a master from somewhere? Lin Feng really wanted to let people bleed at this moment, and if the visitor was not good, he planned to do something ruthless. The moment he turned his head, Lin Feng immediately laughed. The person walking behind him was none other than Ding Kai's lover Zhang Xia. A woman with great taste. Charming and graceful, because she has practiced kung fu for a long time, she has a kind of ability on her body, just like she is riding on a man's body, and she will never get tired when she undulates and twists. Zhang Xia came over. Lin Feng said, "What do you do with me? I came across it by accident. Actually, I've been drinking on the second floor of the bar in the 1980s. It's just that you didn't see me when you showed up with that beautiful woman. I haven't seen you yet. Your mood is very special. Not long after the conflict in the bar in the 1980s, are you still in the mood to come and play?" Lin Fengzin said, "Your behavior is like going to that person's house for dinner just after a fight with that person. I came here when I wanted to. Sometimes I am a more casual person, and I don't think too much about what I say or do. I know that when I helped Ding Kai deal with you that time, I offended you. I hope you, an expert, don't take it too hard. I'm not an expert, I'm just an ordinary online writer, you don't have to lift me up." Lin Feng hesitated for a moment and said, "You walked behind me for at least 20 meters just now, is it really okay?" "No. I'm leaving." "Don't go," Zhang Xia said. "It seems that there is still something to do, tell me, what is it?" Lin Feng said. "Can you drink with me?" "Okay, let's find a place then." "Go to your house," Zhang Xia said. "You are sick. Just treat me as sick. Anyway, I really want you to drink with me. If you take me to your house, maybe I can give you a surprise." The surprise that Zhang Xia said was ambiguous. The highest level of ambiguous between men and women is to take off their pants and have sex. Lin Feng said, "Zhang Xia, do you want me to you?" It would be inconvenient to bring Zhang Xia to his rented master bedroom, so Lin Feng took Zhang Xia to his mansion. Zhang Xia admired the luxury here. Sitting on the soft sofa, she smiled and said, "Lin Feng, you are really not an ordinary person. This mansion will cost at least 10 million yuan. You are very rich." "Good." There is no need for Lin Feng to explain to Zhang Xia where his money came from. Anyway, he is now richer than before. Originally, there was no wine in Lin Feng's mansion, but he later brought over a few bottles, all of which were very high-end liquor. Just now Lin Feng bought some beef, pig ears, and peanuts from the deli on the road, and he and Zhang Xia ate and drank. He ate simple side dishes, but drank good wine worth 10,000 yuan. The atmosphere was very special, and the people around Lin Feng were also very special. Tian Qingzhu, the school flower of Beijing Normal University, is your girlfriend. Mi Yanqing, the beautiful owner of a bar in the 1980s, is your lover. Your girlfriend and lover are both superb. You are the most beautiful I have ever met. People, Zhang Xia said. Lin Feng laughed. His smile at this time was very bold, but it was also somewhat bitter. He said, "It's true that Qingzhu is my girlfriend, but Mi Yanqing is not my lover, just an ordinary good friend. No ambiguity at all." No. Lin Feng and Mi Yanqing were actually a bit ambiguous, but he didn't need to tell Zhang Xia this. "Do you think there is a big gap between me and your girlfriend Tian Qingzhu? It's not that I hit you, you really can't compare with my girlfriend Tian Qingzhu," Lin Feng said. It was inevitable that Zhang Xia felt a little unhappy, but she did not want to compare with Tian Qingzhu this time when she contacted Lin Feng, so she expressed her unpleasantness with a relieved smile. To be continued. If you like this work, you are welcome to come to the starting point to vote for recommendation and monthly tickets. Your support is my biggest motivation. Mobile users, please go to M to read. Fast update, no pop-up, plain text. Peach Youth. Author, Sukifeng. Chapter 521. Seeing Zhang Xia's slender legs swaying, Lin Feng stroked her thighs. The rounded thighs are quite textured and feel very good to the touch. Zhang Xia has no intention of resisting at all, just like Lin Feng's hands did not touch her legs. Keep eating beef, keep drinking. Zhang Xia's expression became more and more blurred. When Lin Feng's hand touched her panties, Zhang Xia, who couldn't bear the irritation, finally put down her chopsticks, twisted and threw herself into Lin Feng's arms. Lin Feng stroked Zhang Xia's buttocks and said with a smile, "You fool around with me behind Ding Kai's back, you don't want to be his lover anymore. If you let me be your lover and give me money to spend, then I don't have to be his lover. I'm so sorry, I'm afraid I'm going to disappoint you." Lin Feng also took out his hand from Zhang Xia's trousers, and said with a smile, "I won't let you be my lover, and I won't either. It's okay to spend your money, and it's okay to invite you to have a drink, but if you want to get money from me, it's fine." Zhang Xia's fist thumped against Lin Feng's arm. Her fists always hurt people, but at this time, they turned into pink fists with little strength, probably because Lin Feng teased her body just now to make her feel good, so that's what made her fist look like this. "I'm just joking. You take it seriously. I'm playing with you behind Ding Kai's back, just to find excitement. If you don't like this kind of excitement, then forget it. I can leave at any time," Zhang Xia said. Lin Feng could tell that what Zhang Xia said just now was serious, that is to say, even if he got on Zhang Xia, he didn't have to take any responsibility. Zhang Xia is quite handsome, and it is estimated that her bed skills will be very high. It can be said that it is not white. Lin Feng didn't intend to let Zhang Xia leave immediately. He stroked Zhang Xia's lower abdomen. When his hand was up, Zhang Xia's breathing became rapid again. Lin Feng stroked Zhang Xia's towering chest and kissed her lips warmly. She took off her clothes. In less than 3 minutes, Zhang Xia was left with a pair of trousers, and her entire body was about to be exposed. The lines are beautiful. Skin is delicate. When Lin Feng took off Zhang Xia's pants, the wind-burning woman quickly put on a sultry pose. Lin Feng's gun broke into Zhang Xia's body with great force, maybe because he was too fierce. Zhang Xia couldn't help but shouted, "Fuck me." Lin Fengzin said. It was you who depended on him, so he continued to force Zhang Xia to make the wind-burned woman lean back and forth. Ding Kai would never have imagined that Lin Feng was trying hard to land on his lover Zhang Xia. Ding Zaiwai was very bored, so he called Zhang Xia and wanted Zhang Xia to stay with him for the night. But Zhang Xia was under Lin Feng's offensive, and she didn't have time to pay attention when her phone rang. Ding Kai was very puzzled. He didn't know what Lin Feng was doing, but he didn't even answer his cell phone. After the enthusiasm, Zhang Xia gasped in streaks, her whole body still exposed in front of Lin Feng. There was no shyness on his face, only the look of a woman who was happy with a man. Lin Feng patted Zhang Xia's butt. He smiled and said, "Your phone rang just now, and you didn't even look at it. Who called you?" "Who else is there? It must be that Ding Kai. I don't even bother to care about him." "Even if you ignore him now, in the future, you will have to ask him to give you money. You might as well pick it up and make up a reason," Lin Feng said. Also, when Zhang Xia's slender legs swayed, the wet place also swayed in front of Lin Feng. Lin Fengzin said, "It seems that I made you very comfortable just now." Zhang Xia called Ding Zaiwai back. Ding Kai was very annoyed and said coldly, "Dear, you are interesting enough, why didn't you answer my call? I'm with a few friends in the Sanda circle. I don't have time to talk to you. I'll contact you tomorrow." "Anyone in the Sanda circle who can beat Lin Feng?" Ding Kai said anxiously. No. Jiang Xia hung up the phone, but Lin Feng had already heard the clue and laughed. What are you laughing at? Jiang Xia showed a very charming look. I laugh at the special shape of that part of you. You're so naughty. Jiang Xia's fist hit Lin Feng again, and said angrily, could it be that this part of your girlfriend Tian Qingzu is different from mine? Almost. Then you said it? Jiang Xia got into Lin Feng's arms again. How many times are you going to score against me tonight? You really burn. How many times do you want it? Come as many times as you can, even if you're exercising against my body all night, I don't have a problem at all. Jiang Xia quickly rode on Lin Feng's lap, letting Lin Feng's tall and straight break into her body, and he swayed and twisted happily. Jiang Xia's skills in this area are indeed very high, and she knows how to make a man very comfortable. Therefore, Lin Feng and Jiang Xia became enthusiastic, and every action was very in place, and the joy was boundless. This night, Lin Feng and Jiang Xia did it 3 times, and each time was very long, but Jiang Xia was still a little dissatisfied. She wanted to get 20 pleasures, but she only got 10 pleasures. Morning. Jiang Xia didn't eat breakfast with Lin Feng. She gave Lin Feng a charming smile very comfortably, said it, and left as if nothing had happened between the two of us. Lin Feng won't take a woman like Jiang Xia seriously, it's a bit indifferent, but he will remember the happiness that Jiang Xia's body brought him, because last night was so comfortable. When Lin Feng appeared on that familiar street, the Fengnan fashion store was already open for business. When Lin Feng walked in, it was already open. After a bag was sold, the turnover exceeded 100 yuan in the morning. Saw New Hope. Dinan was very happy, winked at Lin Feng, and said with a smile, free and easy, who did you put to sleep last night? I put myself to sleep. Come on, you're not a person who likes to use your left hand, you prefer to use a woman's body to vent. Oh, I smell it. You smell like a strange woman on your body. Did you invite a netizen for a one-night kiss? No. Then who smells like on your body? If you don't tell me, I'll ignore you. Dinan put on an inquisitive look, obviously. If Lin Feng doesn't tell her, it won't work. Never mind. It's nothing to tell Dinan. Even if he knew about his affair, Dinan would be tight-lipped. Jiang Xia. As soon as Lin Feng said the name, Dinan burst out laughing. Lin Feng twisted her face, try not to mess with your mouth. What's wrong? Your mouth puffs, I miss you so much. Dinan scolded angrily, and raised his slender legs and kicked Lin Feng's body. Lin Feng was not angry at all, on the contrary, he was very happy. Dinan said, you rascal, you've always wanted to fall in love with me, or else I'll lie down on the ground of the small shop and you'll fall in love with me, you don't even need to close the door. Just let passers-by watch, let they all saw that you were hitting on me. Sorry. You don't need to apologize, I'm not angry. Then what you just said? Speak out to make fun of you, let me tell you, I won't take off your pants easily, Dinan said heartily, although you have touched that part of me many times before. Chatted about Jiang Xia. Dinan was very worried that the relationship between Jiang Xia and Lin Feng had a purpose. But Lin Feng said that Jiang Xia didn't have any purpose, just to make waves. Dinan quickly also thought that Jiang Xia was simply making waves, her long legs were separated, and the waves were broken. Lin Feng and Dinan teased and returned to the master bedroom. They lay on the bed and fell asleep. They actually dreamed of the warm scene with Jiang Xia last night. Jiang Xia's body was doing that action violently. Then, Lin Feng dreamed of Sister Wang. Very intoxicating scene. In Lin Feng's dream, Sister Wang danced in only a pair of trousers. This charming woman's legs were very flexible, and the towering chest of this charming woman was beating. After waking up from the dream, Lin Feng's body was wet. It wasn't that he urinated, it was bleeding. The reason why he was bleeding was because both Jiangxia and Sister Wang appeared in his dreams. First, Jiangxia made him almost churn, and then Sister Wang made him really churn. It's flowing, it's not that it didn't flow. Lin Feng didn't care about it. He lit a cigarette and started smoking. After smoking a cigarette, he felt that it was necessary to change his pants so that the beautiful bamboo would not see his dirty pants. After changing his trousers, getting dressed, and washing his face again, Lin Feng walked to the street with a very dashing step, as if he had never done anything terrible. The sun is a little brighter. The weather is a little chilly. Lin Feng was in a good mood. When he bought the food and went to the store, Tian Qingzu was also there. Tian Qingzu smiled brightly. "Brother Feng, what kind of food did you buy? Is it my favorite?" "Sichuan cuisine, it must be your favorite." Tian Qingzu soon saw that the 3 dishes that Lin Feng bought were all her favorites. They ate and chatted together, and talked about Miazu and Lin Feng going home for the Chinese New Year together. Miazu was very happy, and Lin Feng was even more anxious. "I can't wait to take the beautiful bamboo home tomorrow. But there is still some time before the Chinese New Year, that is to say, it will only be some time later he can bring the beautiful bamboo home. The beautiful bamboo is very charming and has a temperament. He brought such a superb beauty back to the county town of his hometown, and the only result was this." Yezi called and asked Lin Feng to go to his private villa. Lin Feng's idea of coding this afternoon came to nothing. Lin Feng has arrived. He saw the leaves, saw the red shadow, saw Sister Wang, and also saw Bing Chen. When Bing Chen saw Lin Feng, he was still a little nervous, for fear that Lin Feng would fix her. Bing Chen went upstairs, and Lin Feng said, Yeah, I find that you bring Bing Chen with you more and more often. It seems that you really want to train her to be a person by your side. Actually, Bing Chen is very good. Maybe. But up to now, Lin Feng still doesn't like Bing Chen, but how to use people is Ye's own business. To be continued.